He doesn't talk about it here, but it's interesting to me that there is more than one person. I'm sure it could be called Yellowbird. I'm just mentioning that to you. This Yellowbird kills an officer. Whether he's the same Yellowbird. So Dog Chief saw Yellowbird run into a teepee with his gun, and from there he killed soldiers until the teepee caught fire. Then he died full of bullets. So I think that is Custer's illegitimate son by an Indian woman that he supposedly had, which is why they say that they didn't scalp Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Everyone else was scalped and mutilated, but they left him because supposedly I think he had an Indian wife. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. And what did they do to Custer? The only thing they did to Custer? They put holes in his ears so that he would hear better next time. The warnings that he had been given, not to do the things he did and not to come back. Well, this is a crazy book. You'll have to agree. The last chapter is the end of a dream. I don't really need to do much more with you with this. He tells, I guess he didn't get anything happen to him, did he? You're the one reading this book, right? So the next page of that last chapter, he talks about wishing the bullet had killed me, then I could have died with pop in my mouth. I don't know. You'd have to read this more carefully. The day before, I take only my sacred bow, which was not made to shoot, because I was a little in doubt about the Wanakea religion at the time and didn't want to kill anybody. I don't know what he's going to do in this last chapter here. I guess this time, I don't know if he took a gun or he didn't. I guess he did take a gun this time. This is the next day. And he's still dreaming. I don't have your page here. He's dreaming about geese soaring in the sky. Yeah, I remember my great vision, the part where the geese in the north appeared, and stretching out my arms with my gun. Yeah, he's got a gun in my right hand, like a goose soaring when it flies low, to turn in the change of the weather. I made the sound the geese make. Whoop, whoop. It's lovely, this fellow. You got to admit, I don't know if it's all true. And whoop! What page is that? You got the page. What page is it in your book? 204. 204. I write that down. Yeah, I got 204. I got it. And the soldiers saw him, began shooting fast at me. I guess I charged at that moment like a goose. And they started shooting at him. I kept right on with my buckskin running, shot in the faces when I was near, then swung right and rode back up the hill. All this time the bullets were buzzing around me and I wasn't even touched. I was not even afraid. It was like being in a dream about shooting. He doesn't know the difference between the dream and vision world in himself. And I dropped my arms and quit making the goose cry because I suddenly got afraid. And then someone had hit me there with the back of an axe. I nearly fell out of my saddle. Oh no, I felt something like the back of an axe. He was then wounded when he stopped doing his goose cry. He should have kept on doing his goose cry, wouldn't have been wounded. And I'll show you where the bullet struck me sideways across the belly, and I saw a long, deep scar on his abdomen. But you see, now I was crazy to kill, and I said to the protector, help me on my horse, let me over there. It's a good day to die, so I'm going to go over there. And the Lakotas were fighting, and I heard that. After that I left, the Black Wasichu soldiers came. There it is, the Black Wasichus coming. So they're in this too, you guys. Everyone, we're all in it together, see? Nobody's free of this. And the Lakotas had to retreat. Actually, the Black Wasichus seemed to turn the tide here. Those are the buffalo soldiers that are sometimes named like that. Well, I guess you can read the rest of it yourself, huh? Well, not much left, is there? This was wounded in the knee, and I wanted a chance to kill the soldiers. The war cavalry were coming up the river. So I caught up a soldier's horse. I was dragging a rope and brought it to Red Willow while the soldiers were shooting fast at me. And just then, for a little while, I was a Wanakea myself. So in this fight, Longmire and other men whose names I've forgotten were badly wounded, but I became a Wanakia, you see. Our party still wanted to go out and fight anywhere, but Red Cloud made a speech to us, something like, brothers, this is a hard winter. Red Cloud is still around and helping. And so we must make peace, and I'll see that nobody is hurt by the soldiers. And the people agreed that this had to be. So we broke camp, and many Lakotas were already there, and there were many soldiers, and we stood in two lines with their guns held in front of them as we went through to where we camped. And so it was all over. And I did not know how much had ended. When I looked back from this high hill, 207, in my old age, I could still see the butchered women and children lying heaped and scattered all along the crooked gulch, as plain as when I saw them when my eyes were young. And I can see that something else died in that bloody mud and was buried in the blizzard. A people's dream died there. It was a beautiful dream. And I, to whom so great a vision was given in my youth, you see me now, a pitiful old man who has done nothing. For the nation's hoop is broken, still, and scattered, and there is no center any longer, and the sacred tree is dead. I like that book. Not bad, huh? Well, as Muhammad said about the Quran, write a better one if you can. Write another line like it. That's how he challenged his opponents. If you don't think I'm a prophet, he said in one of his surahs, write another surah like it, but you can never do it, he said. And this is Surah 2 of the Quran, if you've ever read it. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Any reaction to this? Want to say anything? Now, we've read the whole book, do you? What about it? Any last comments? Do you think that's interesting literature? Yeah? Yeah, that's pretty, I mean, yeah.
Particularly the interaction between, you know, when he was forced into a different culture, probably more interesting than the beginning parts of it.
Yeah, well, you know, he's got to, you know, it's a book. You know? Yeah, it grows. The book grows. I mean, you know, it's full of, that's what that great books are. They have a lot of sort of boring parts. And then suddenly they come to that's where you have to read the whole thing. You can't give handouts with little passages from books. Don't ever do that to your students, and that's why I like you to read whole books, yeah.
I was going to say, if you just think about like the spiritual aspects of it, and just not even in this one, but in the other two that we read with Bhagavad Gita and the first one.
Don Juan.
Yeah. It just makes you question the things that they see and the visions that they have, and you wonder, like, well, could it be possible? It's in so many different places it says that, oh, these people saw it. So you just kind of question it.
Oh, well, I never believe any scripture of any kind. You know that. I don't believe the New Testament. I don't believe the Quran. I don't believe any of these things.
We have instead of the scientific way, which we're used to.